Hi everyone, welcome to the demo video of Quorvix. On most chains, trading spot using margin and taking a prediction market position means three separate apps, three signatures. Quorvix is a visual terminal for DeepBook on Sui. You compose spot, margin, and predict into familiar option-style strategies and execute them as one atomic programmable transaction block, one signature, one outcome. This is currently testnet only today, built for DeepBook Predict testnet and Sui testnet. Let's start by connecting the wallet. You are going to need DUSDC for using the predict and DBUSDC for using spot and margin. DUSDC is available as of now, and I have it, and I already have it in my wallet. You can see it here, but DBUSDC is not available as per the DeepBook team. Moving forward, here we have a proof strip. Once we have some open positions, they will be visible here, and your unrealized P&L will also be visible here. We can directly go to the portfolio from here. Here we have different strategy banners. This is explaining Quorvix, traditional DeFi uses. As I mentioned previously, we use different apps for swap, borrow, and hedge, like spot, margin, and predict, and all of that can be done in a single transaction using DeepBook. On Quorvix, we have 4 different strategies. Each one maps to real DeepBook primitive. Before going to the strategy, let's go to Learn section and see. Here also you can find some meaningful information about DeepBook and Quorvix and how this PTB works, a programmable transaction block. It lets spot, margin, and prediction actions execute together. Either every action succeeds or nothing happens. You can go through this doc to understand how it works. Let's start with one of the strategy. We have 4 different strategies on Quorvix. Let's start with market insulated spot long. What exactly it does is we buy SUI in spot and add a BTC down hedge in one direction. You keep upside on SUI while the hedge pays it if BTC drops below your strike. Let's go into that. As you can see, the predict flow requires a predict manager. We will have to create our predict manager. We can do that by clicking on the setup wizard. We can skip balance manager, it is optional. Let's create a predict manager. Our predict manager is ready. As you can see, the warning has gone. The flow stepper at the top, it shows the steps involved in the execution of the strategy. First, we build the strategy, then we preview it, and then we execute it. As I mentioned, we have 4 different strategies. We are starting with insulated long. Here are the oracles that we can, bet on. This is the current price. This is the down strike. We can take any spot buy of 10 USDC, predict quantity 1. Right side, you can see the strategy summary. Whatever we select in the parameters, it shows up in the summary. Let's go to preview and execute. Here we can have a bigger size chart to thoroughly check. Preview is the risk checkpoint before you sign anything. Here we can see the transaction breakdown. As you can see, all this is going to happen in one single transaction. First, it is going to fund the predict manager. Then spot buy of SUI, which will be skipped as we don't have DBUSDC and it is not available as of now as per DeepBook team. Then it builds down market key and then mint. Let's confirm and execute. Our predict manager is here already filled here. We can change it here as well. It shows the live market context. Again, we have the PTB pipeline showing all the transactions in this PTB. Here we can simulate it. It runs against live testnet state. No wallet signatures. It's optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, it's okay. As you can see, the simulation is passed. Then we sign and execute. This is the amount which is going to detect it from our amount. Approve. Transaction confirmed. Here we can see out of those 4 transactions, 3 happened and it skipped the spot leg because, as I mentioned, we don't have DBUSDC. Once we have it, once the DeepBook provides support for that, it will work. As well as we can go to the portfolio. Let's go to the portfolio. Portfolio shows one active position, the amount which was detected from our wallet, and here it shows the position that we executed and the history. This is the unrealized P&L. All right, let's build one more, execute one more trade using yield range strategy. All right, let me show what yield range is exactly. Yield range is basically you get profit when BTC stays between your lower and upper price targets at expiry. Basically, we set a lower and upper price limit. And here again, we can see the BTC chart. Let's review and execute. Confirm. Again, it shows all the transactions involved in this PTB. Let's simulate it. Simulation passed. You can skip the simulation step if you want. And transaction confirmed. You can see here. Let's go to portfolio. Portfolio now shows 2 transactions. One we executed for insulated long, another for yield range. Let's go to builder. Let's now execute our 3rd strategy, which is breakout straddle. What it means is it takes a margin position along with the predict. It bets on a large BTC move in either direction using margin leverage and paired up-down binaries. Breakout straddle. You can see we can set the straddle distance. We can set the leverage. Whatever we are changing here, it is showing in the strategy summary on the right side here. Again, we have the charts if you want to see current market charts. Preview. This is the preview. Same for all strategies. Similar, not same. Confirm. Again, here we have all the transactions and the PTB. Margin leg will be skipped as no USDC testnet as per the DeepBook team. Balance for DBUSDC is 0. Yeah. Okay. Manager is missing. We need our for the previous 2 strategies we needed only the predict manager, but for this strategy we need a margin manager as well. Let's set up the margin manager. Let's create one. Okay, we have our margin manager now. Let's simulate. Simulation is failing because the binary ask price is outside vault limits for this oracle. All right. Transaction confirmed. Let's go to the portfolio. Now we have executed another transaction. And moving on to the 4th strategy, it's a simple strategy like how traditional DeFi prediction markets work. We just predict for up and down. Let's predict for down. Preview. Execute. Okay, so transaction confirmed. We in portfolio. So this portfolio is your own on-chain book of business scoped to your connected wallet. We can see we have 4 different transactions that we executed, and the execution history also shows it. We can see all these transactions on SwiScan as well. They're happening live on-chain. Moving on to the home page. Yeah, here also you can see we have 4 open positions. And unrealized P&L. Yeah, I think that's all.